the new hire for the Brooklyn Nets, Jordi Fernandez.
Yeah.
All right. What do we think?
I think Tyler, as a Nets fan, could take the floor on this.
Yeah, I probably should.
Get into it, Tyler.
Yeah, go
Lock
ahead.
in.
We don't know a lot about it.
This is you, bro.
Right. So, for those that don't know, Jordi Fernandez is currently the Kings' assistant coach, head associate. Job titles are so convoluted nowadays.
Yeah.
He's basically one of the guys that is one of Mike Brown's right-hand men. And he's had history working with so many great coaches and players in the past. Like he was with Denver and Nikola Jokic for a while, Mike Malone. He is, I believe, the head coach this year for Team Canada, as was in years past. So
He was, in the FIBA World Cup.
yeah, and he's going to coach them in the Olympics this year.
Yeah.
So obviously
time.
he's going to work with guys like, RJ Barrett, Jamal Murray,
Yeah.
SGA, Oraman. So he was not someone that I had too high on my list just because the Nets season and just franchise overall since the big three have gotten here have just been such a shit show. Just horrible coaching hires. Steve Nash has no experience. Jacques Vaughn was no better. He's just coaching experience, but did somehow a worse job with less. So it's definitely been rough. Obviously, I know we fired Jacques Vaughn right after All-Star break. Kevin Ollie came in, did what he could, but the team sucked. And we were like the worst team in the NBA. Like, I don't care if the Pistons won 14 games. Like, they were better than us. And I wanted just a head coach, right? I wanted someone that had head coaching experience in the NBA. So I was looking at guys like, like Terry Stotts or Mike Budenholzer. And obviously some good assistant coaches that have won championships, like David Adelman with the Nuggets, Sam Cassell with the Sixers. He's pretty much been all around. And even like some other dark horse candidates like Becky Hammon would have been a great shout. But Jordi was one of my dark horses.
Okay.
And he's a guy with fire. My voice cracked. He's a guy with fire. And that's something that this Nets team needs.
Okay.
Tell me, outside of when Steve Nash was screaming at that Bucks head at the ref in the Bucks game, Jacques Vaughn never yelled. Steve Nash never yelled prior. We had none of it.
Yeah.
And all of those guys are older. Jordi Fernandez is a younger guy. I think he might be around Steve Nash's age.
He's 41.
Yeah. So he's essentially a guy that will get the players to respond to him. Yeah. I think working under Mike Malone and Mike Brown is definitely huge for the defensive aspect. I know he's bringing, I forgot his name. He's bringing someone else over that was announced this morning. But look, I'm going into this with an open mind. I think if we decide to go into a rebuild, I think it's going to work out beautifully. But if we decide to star hunt and go after a Donovan Mitchell or something like that, I'm a little worried.
I don't think you guys will.
No.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Because the Nets have a lot of, we'll talk. I'm definitely sure I'll have a lot to say about the Nets this offseason. I know a lot of my Nets Twitter guys we could definitely get on here at some point once we start having guests. And they can kind of give you also more of an in-depth scoop with everything because they get some more insider information. I kind of just get the minimal stuff. But look, I think this is definitely a hire we needed. I'm glad we decided to do it now rather than, if Cleveland, for example, fires JB Bickerstaff, they could have snagged him. So I'm glad we acted fast. I'm glad we didn't wait till the summer. So I'm going into this with an open mind, positive mindset, because there really hasn't been much positivity around this organization for the past 2 years.
Okay.
So I'll just leave it at that because I don't want to be the only one talking here.
Yeah.
So
That was awesome.
I'll kind of throw it back over to you guys. Pause.
Yeah.
So
I think something notable in the last coaching cycle, he had 3 interviews. 2 which I think are notable teams. 1 not so notable. I'm gonna throw out the non-notable team, Toronto.
Toronto's a notable team.
But I don't think we had much to work with.
Well, any teams that blow it up, or any teams that are like bad, that's a good job because you want to turn it around.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'd rather take that over the Bucks.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Speaking of the Bucks was one of the other teams that interviewed him.
Okay.
And Phoenix.
Yeah, you don't want to be going into those.
So, 2 teams that were looking at him. He was on the radar for 2 top teams. I think that gives you a lot to know that he's well respected within the league from top teams, even a middle team that was rebuilding as Toronto.
Right.
He was with Mike Malone for 6 seasons in Denver.
Wow. What years were those?
I think it was like mid to late 2010s, I want to say.
He also was with Cleveland before for a little bit.
With LeBron or no?
I would assume LeBron.
What years was it?
Ty Lue?
I don't have the years. It just said he was
fair.
with Cleveland before.
Yeah.
He led Canada to the 3rd place finish in the FIBA World Cup.
Yep.
He also coached in the national team programs for Spain and Nigeria.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
So Spain, I don't know about Nigeria's basketball team, but Spain, we know.
They've started to get some more players. I know they got Precious.
You know what I love about
Dinwiddie
that?
declared for it.
Yeah.
So,
I love that he coached over there because the league is starting to turn, like we discussed before.
right.
The league is starting to turn to like a more European style type of play.
I love
so
it.
I love that he had some experience in
Yeah.
the EuroLeague. It's awesome.
Yeah, and then I think his official title, from what I got, he's Sacramento's top assistant.
Okay, yeah.
That's
So
what his.
it's basically then David Adelman of the Kings or
Yeah.
Cassell of the
Yeah.
Kings. So that's good. That's big. So I'm curious to see if he keeps Kevin Ollie on his staff. I kind of hope he does, but I also kind of hope he doesn't.
Who's that? again?
Kevin Ollie.
Kevin Ollie was the coach for UConn.
UConn when they won the
For
national
years, yeah.
championship back before Dan Hurley took
Was that with Kemba or Shabazz, or was it both?
both.
Okay, fair.
It was both
So
Yeah.
two great runs.
before Dan Hurley took over.
Yeah. Look, I'm curious to see what he does with this team because there's a lot of question marks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And our players have gotten a bad rep because of it.
Yeah.
And it sucks because the players are not as bad as people say they are. Just the team stinks. There's no direction.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, what do you got about it, Gio?
I mean, I'm just curious. I'm like just like you guys. I'm curious to see what or how he's going to change the team culture over there. Like you said, he's a fiery guy. That's his personality, and I think that the Nets definitely need that. Like you were saying before. But I'm really curious about his play style or his coaching style. Like what is he going to draw up for the guys? You know.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see. From what I've read, he really likes movement shooters.
Okay.
And it really sucks that we don't have Joe anymore. It sucks that he's past his prime because he would have fit perfectly in his system.
Right.
Cam Johnson's more of a stationary guy,
Yes.
but I think they could definitely get him more involved because obviously he's making $21 million and had a shit season. So there's that.
So moving shooters.
Moving shooters. I'm curious to see what he does with Cam Thomas.
Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
I'm
think that's
thinking a breakout year. Cam Thomas
Yeah.
has gotten a really
Really?
bad rap as well. He's kind of gotten the Michael Porter rap where he's just a shot chucker, when in reality
Yeah.
he's not. He actually
He's a good
he
player.
can play make. He's not a great defender, but he can hold his own, right? I mean,
You
you're
think the team will revolve around
not- I hope
Cam
so.
Thomas?
I hope so. We'll see. Well, right now they're still on there. Mikal Bridges number one option, which is
Now, I
not
also
working.
want to ask you, Tyler, what are your expectations for next season?
for next
What
season.
do you expect you guys pick up a free agent?
Do you want to save that for off-season talk?
We could save it for off-season talk, but I'll kind of give you a little taste right
Sneak
now.
peek, yeah.
It really depends because we have obviously the Twins still here, but I don't know if they're going to trade them because I know the Rockets had offered us Jalen Green.
Yeah.
There's been leaks of potentially Şengün instead of Jalen Green, which would be fucking incredible. My biggest concern is that we're going to overpay Claxton, and if we overpay
Yeah.
Claxton, we have no cap space, no flexibility.
Yeah,
I don't think you guys will.
I don't know.
I would hope
I'm-
not. I don't think that's the answer.
I'm on the fence with it because he
Yeah.
wants a lot of money, and I don't think he's worth anywhere near half of it.
Hmm.
So there's that. Cam Thomas and Day'Ron Sharp are up for extensions in 2 years, so they'll pay them this year. They'll be poison pill contracts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think if Claxton stays, we'll probably trade for a star.
Yeah.
I think if he doesn't, we're going to go into a rebuild.
Okay.
Actually, it could be either way, but yeah, I don't know. I'm really hoping it's not Donovan Mitchell because we'll probably lose Cam Thomas in the process.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Cam Thomas is going to be. I'm not the guy that's like I'm not a Cam Thomas stan. Like I don't think he's going to be the greatest player ever,
But
but
you're rooting for the guy.
I think he's going to be. He's definitely easy multi-time All-Star.
Yeah.
My voice
Okay.
cracked again. But look, I think you kind of give the Nets a direction. You give them a system. We'll see. We're not going to win shit anytime soon.
Yeah.
But honestly, as long as they're competitive every night, that's all I can ask for.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're trending in the right direction.
We didn't see any of that this year outside of the first
Yeah.
12 games of the season. So, yeah, that's the first time on the show I've ranted about my Nets. Just prepare for more worse discussions about it this summer because I'm fed up, and most of Nets world is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's just it's gotten so bad that I've lost interest. I didn't watch the last month of the season. I've barely I turned on some games here and there, but I get
Yeah.
excited about Nets basketball. I'm just not.
And that's
Yeah.
a big thing coming from Tyler. If you guys didn't know, he that's all he does, watch Nets basketball.
Yeah, I've always it's Nets and Nikola Jokic.
Yeah,
Of course.
Because it's great the way the schedules work. By the way, like at 7:30,
Yep.
I'll watch the Nets just play like absolute ass for an hour and a half or 2.5 hours, and then it's great. Like about half an hour later, Nikola Jokic is on.
Brings
You
up
just
the
see
morale.
beautiful basketball. Like it's ridiculous. So
Yeah.
pray for Brooklyn because we need all of it.
Yeah.
But anything else regarding Jordi Fernandez?
No.
Don't even know what he looks like, so I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what he looks like.
We'll save it for off-season talk.
Yeah.
We have a lot more for that.
Yeah. All right, how old is he? Just really quick.
41.
41. Young coach.
So what is that? 29, 39. He is 22 years older than Jason Tatum. Sorry, I had to.
That's funny.